The murder of Teresita Basa. On February 21, 1977, firefighters broke into a smoke-filled apartment on North Pine Grove Avenue in Chicago. On the bedroom floor, beneath a burning mattress, lay the body of 47-year-old Teresita Basa, a Filipino respiratory therapist at Edgewater Hospital. She had been stabbed through the chest. Her jewelry was missing. Her killer had left nothing behind. No prints, no witnesses, no trail. The case went cold within weeks. Teresita had no family in Chicago to pressure investigators, no one to keep her name in the papers. Within weeks, she had become another unsolved file in a city that produced too many of them. What broke it open was a dead woman speaking through the body of someone still alive. Remy Chua was a colleague of Teresita's at Edgewater Hospital. She had known her only in passing. Months after the murder, Remy began experiencing episodes, trances, her husband said, that came without warning. She would go rigid, her voice would change, and she would speak in Tagalog, a language she understood but rarely used. She identified herself as Teresita Basa, and she began to talk about the night she died. The episodes continued over several weeks. Each time, the voice returned with more detail. It named her killer. It said his name was Alan Showery, an orderly at the same hospital. It said he had come to her apartment under the pretense of fixing her television. It described where her missing jewelry could be found, in the possession of Showery's girlfriend. Remy's husband, Dr. Chua, was a physician. He started documenting every episode. He initially said nothing to authorities, fearing ridicule, but the details were too specific to dismiss. He eventually contacted the Chicago Police Department. Detectives assigned to the case initially treated the information with open skepticism. Then they checked it. Alan Showery was indeed an orderly at Edgewater Hospital. His girlfriend was indeed wearing jewelry that matched the description of items missing from Teresita's apartment. Showery was brought in for questioning. Confronted with the evidence, Showery confessed. He pleaded guilty to murder and was sentenced to 14 years in prison. The state of Illinois prosecuted the case using conventional physical evidence, the jewelry, the confession. No court ever formally entered a spirit's testimony into record, but the detectives who investigated never denied where the lead came from. One told reporters flatly, "We'd still be looking without it." Remy Chua was later submitted to psychiatric evaluation. She was found to have no dissociative disorder, no history of psychosis, no diagnosable condition that could account for the trances. She and her husband were interviewed separately, and their accounts matched precisely. Neither had any prior connection to Showery. Neither had any motive to fabricate. The episode stopped entirely after Showery's arrest. The voice, whoever or whatever it was, did not return. The case is studied in parapsychology literature as one of the most evidentially robust instances of alleged spirit communication ever recorded, not because of its atmosphere or its drama, but because it produced a conviction. The information was verifiable, it was verified, and it was correct. The dead, it seems, do not always go quietly. Sometimes they find a way back. Sometimes they come through a woman who barely knew them, in a language half forgotten, in the dark hours of the night. And sometimes, in at least one documented case in Chicago in 1977, they were right.